me try to help out the youth out there, the people that are growing up, man. Let me just tell you what you're in for. You're in for a whole lot of deception. This whole world is full of lies. Starting with the grown-ups. The grown-ups, they don't know it all. So you're looking up to the people and you're asking questions that might be deceiving you. They're telling you things that sound right to the ears or something like that, carnally. It sounds good, but it's not. It's not the right thing. For example, uh, if you're thirsty, it's not good to drink salt water, but yet, it sounds good to the ears if you're thirsty to drink water, right? Even if it has salt in front of it. But what I'm trying to say is this, guys. This whole world is full of deception. This whole world is full of illusion and mirages. People are chasing money. People are chasing all the wrong things. All the things that, quite frankly, when you get there, there's a reason why famous people kill themselves. You know what I mean? Not all of them, but a lot of them. They find that they were chasing this evading shadow. That every time they got to the place where they thought they were gonna find the treasure, almost like the green, what do they call it? A leprechaun. With the gold in the end of the rainbow. Everybody's chasing these things, right? Whether it be fame or fortune or mansions or cars or materialism or girls or sex or money. And you can name them with the 10 fingers that we have. I mean, it's that list, and maybe there's like 2 or 3 more, but that's about it. That's the vanity of this world, and there's nothing else that this world has to offer in terms of pleasure and in terms of chasing things. But everybody that's chased that and everybody that's tasted that, they know that it's not there. That doesn't fulfill, that doesn't satisfy. It promises that it will, but it does not do it. So that's my first point that I wanted to make to everybody that is chasing these things. Guys, let me just save you a bunch of torture and pain and all that. Why do I say save you a bunch of torture and pain? It's because a lot of people sell their soul to get these things. A lot of people, like women, they'll sell their bodies to get money. Men, they'll hustle drugs and go to prison, all for this fortune and fame, and so that's a lot of torture and pain, if you ask me. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that I have testimony, I have experience, I have experiences to back up everything that I'm saying. And so this world is completely blind, deaf, and dumb. The devil, according to the Bible, rules this world, and this whole system is rigged for you to self-destruct. What they call mental illness is actually sinful behavior. Anything that is sinful by nature, it gives you a little bit of pleasure, and it takes part of your soul. It takes you to death, spiritual death. And so that's why every time you drink, you smoke, you party, you get a little bit of enjoyment out of it, but the next day you have regrets. You have your conscience is telling you, you shouldn't have slept with that guy or that girl. Now you have syphilis, now you have AIDS, now you have this, now you have that. And so maybe you escape all that. Maybe you don't get anything, right? Maybe you're rolling the dice though, right? Or maybe the girl gets pregnant, now she has to have an abortion. Now you're racking up sins, right? So basically, in the end of the day, those voices that you be hearing in your head that are driving you nuts, that I used to have back in the day, they'll call that mental illness, but in reality, what that is that they're demons. We live in a very, very spiritual, active world, where behind all objects there is a spirit. And I don't want to over-spiritualize things, and I don't want to under-spiritualize things. What I mean by that is I don't want to be radical, and I don't want to be an extremist and call everything a demon and call everything spirit. But you have to be real what real is, right? You got to call a spade a spade. So what I'm trying to say is this, guys. The more you sin, the more you chase pleasure, the more you try to discover, where the party's at and this and that, the more involved you're going to get into where the devil reigns. And it's hard to get out. It's extremely difficult to get out. And if you're anything like me, you had a lot of visions. It's like you'll be planted here on earth and you'll be doing your thing, but internally you'll feel like you're in prison. Internally you'll feel like you're extremely depressed, you're suicidal, you hear voices that are telling you that you're nothing, you're a scum of the earth. How could you? How dare you? Why'd you do that? Depending on what you did, whether you stole from your family to keep up your habits, whether you whatever it is, because what the devil does is that he plays all the streets, and so he'll tempt you to do the wrong thing, and then he'll condemn you for doing that thing that he tempted you to do. And this is how he gets people to commit suicide, and this is how he gets people to go crazy, right? So anyways, you got a bunch of people drinking a bunch of medication out there just to calm down their nerves, calm down their anxiety, calm down everything. And quite frankly, the devil enters through drugs and alcohol. That's when he has the most possession over a human being. That's when he can really truly have his way, because the person's senses are dulled, and they gave way to that spirit that wants to come in. Have you ever thought about why there's stores called beer, wine, and spirits? Have you ever pondered that in your mind as to why what's up with that title, beer, wine? Okay, those two mixed together, spirits. They threw the spirits in there. Why did they do that? We live in a world that's ancient, and so basically whatever you're practicing today has been practiced before. There's nothing new under the sun. And so we continue to the Democrats could call it progress. You got to be progressive, and you got to think ahead. But there's nothing new under the sun. Anything and everything you can think of, another person in this world has already thought of it and has done it, right? So the main topic and the main point of this video is to expose and to reveal. Expose that this whole world, the channel and the current of this world is taking everybody to death and to hell. That's the current. The current, if you go into the ocean, the current takes you sometimes, and you have to swim against the current in order to come back to land. So basically what I'm trying to say is that if you follow the pattern of this world, and if you watch TV, you watch social media, you watch all these things, they're all going to be leading you to more confusion, more chaos, less peace, less everything. And then at the end of the day, it leads you to death and hell, right? And you know this because of how you feel. How you feel is a direct correlation of how you are in the spirit realm. Because we are a soul on the inside. Our carcass, our shell will rot in the grave, but internally, behind the windows of these eyes, we are a spirit, and that spirit will never die. It will always live forever and ever. But where will it live? Heaven and reign in eternity and bliss and happiness in paradise forever, or in hell in torment and torture, etc. Now God doesn't send anybody to hell. He wants everybody. The Bible says he wants everybody to be saved. That's why he sent Jesus Christ down here to planet Earth in body form to die in your place and go to hell in your place, so that you can accept his place by faith. So that's the whole thing there. You accept Jesus Christ. His status was king. His status was, in heaven, and quite frankly, just reigning in heaven, right? And so he switched places with you. That's what makes Jesus Christ different than everybody else's religion, right? That we serve a living God, not a dead God, right? So he raised from the dead. So quite frankly, this is what it is, guys. I was a drug addict and alcoholic for 15 years of my life, right? I did it all, right? I chased all the pleasure that this world has to offer. And I got to taste everything that the devil glorifies in this world. I got to taste it all. And then I started to realize that although it gets glorified on the television set and everybody's laughing, smiling from ear to ear, and making toasts, with glasses, making the chime, and they're wilding out, right? And you're watching this and you're saying, they are so happy, they are so fulfilled. Man, I'm gonna go get myself Chardonnay. I'm gonna go get myself Grey Goose. I'm gonna go buy myself that exact same identical bottle, because that's what they're drinking, and I'm gonna wild out just like them, ear to ear. I'm gonna be smiling. I'm just gonna have little stars going around my head because of how drunk and I'm gonna be in this and that, right? So the promise is there. The promise is that you're gonna feel good and life is just gonna just dance and you're gonna dance with life, etc. And so then you go and grab that bottle and then you just don't feel the way that the promise said you were gonna feel, right? You could get hammered, but the point is that the promise was a false illusion, right? And I started to notice this growing up, and I started to say, man, they're drinking what I'm drinking, but they look so much happier than what I am. And what is it that I'm missing that you know that they have that I don't have? And meanwhile, I would see other people, you know, that are at peace, and they just a man and a woman just holding hands and just walking down the neighborhood, and they just have the nice house, they have the nice things, and I say to myself, I want that. I want peace. Yeah, I don't have peace. I was living the fast life. Everything was about coming up and stealing and fighting and chaos and police and who died today and who's going to jail tomorrow, and you know, oh, this person's got beef. Oh, they're calling me. I gotta get up. I gotta have their back. And it's just a whole lot of drama everywhere you go, drama. And I just, quite frankly, years and years of, in the beginning, everything's interesting because you're breaking the ice and you don't